Hey YouTube, it's Dylan here for a review of Battlefield 1, as you can see. I just finished last night this story mode, and I played a lot of multiplayer, and I've got to say this game is amazing. And if you guys want to have a lot of fun playing a war game, an old school war game, World War One, you're gonna love this. I haven't been this invested into a game in a campaign mode since Last of Us. And this game has a brilliant campaign mode, and I was really invested in the storyline and the characters, and I was just really into it. Um, um, the campaign mode is really good. So I'll start off talking about the campaign mode, and then I'll go to the multiplayer. I was most excited for the campaign mode for this game because I don't know, the trailer and that it really displayed like it was going to be a really good campaign mode. It was going to grip you, and I was right about that. Um, well, I'm different to other people. Most people get games to play the multiplayer online, but for me, I like to play a good campaign mode, and because there's nothing better to me than um, going through a storyline and seeing the beginning and the end. And if there's great characters, then well, that's just the cherry on top of the cake. Um, like a perfect example was The Last of Us. That had a perfect campaign mode. You can't play that game for the multiplayer. You're playing that shit for the campaign. Um, I haven't been gripped by a story mode since that game really. Like no other game has been able to replicate that. But this game was able to somewhat do what The Last of Us did for me. Of course, it's not the same because The Last of Us has a brilliant story mode, and no game can top that shit. But this game has a brilliant campaign mode, um, and that's what I like. I normally get games for the campaign mode because, like I said, the storyline, the characters, and I don't know, the action feels like it's got bigger stakes because of the storyline and because you're so invested. You're more into it. Like with the multiplayer, you don't really have a storyline. You're just going around shooting people and that. And but with a campaign, you know the storyline and you know the stakes, so it has a bigger feel. So the campaign mode to this, it's really great. But the only dislike I have is that is way too short. You love it that much, you just want it to go longer, but it's just really short, and you can easily finish the campaign mode under a day, easy. Um, how many hours would I say it would take you? Under 10 hours. I don't know how many hours I would say, but you'll be able to finish the campaign mode under 10 hours. I was able to finish this way under 10 hours. It just felt way too short. I wanted more. Um, you get five war stories, right? And you play with this introduction, and you're playing as different characters, and it's really chaotic. Like you got explosions going on, and there's each character you play with at the beginning has to die, right? Um, so you can't survive this beginning introduction. You're gonna die, and then you're gonna go to the next character. And the cool thing was when someone dies, it comes up with their date of birth and the year they died. And I want to mention as well, all the characters in the story mode are real people. So this is real war stories you're going to be playing, but of course it's going to be a bit fabricated to make it a bit more entertaining. But it's based on real people, so it's got a bit of truth there. Um, so you're playing this beginning introduction, and it's really intense. I don't want to spoil it for you guys because it's awesome. But when you're near death, like before you're about to die, it goes into slow mo, and that's so awesome. Where there's explosions going on around you, and you got these guys shooting at you, and you're shooting them back in slow mo. Like it's really awesome. But I'm not going to tell you much more about the introduction because that's the first thing you're going to see when you play the campaign mode, and I want to keep that. I want to keep that a surprise for you guys. But the five war stories are awesome. Um, well, some were a bit lame. Well, one in particular was really lame, but the first one I played was Edward, and he's like this guy who like that's the tank one. Um, each war story kind of has like different sort of weaponry you use. Like one story, war story's got tanks, and you can use tanks in that one. Another one you got like a warplane, and that was my favorite, the warplane one. That was awesome. I want to get into that more soon. And you got all these different stuff. All right, sorry, I'm burping. I just ate some food. Not the perfect time to be doing a video, but still I'm going to be doing it. So the tank one was probably my favourite storyline. Playing in the tank was awesome, but not as fun as the plane, but still fucking amazing. Some pretty hard levels with the tank one, definitely at the end, because you're having to fight all these tanks and they're all onto you, because you're like the lone wolf at the end. It's just your one tank versus these many tanks, and it like gets really intense. But I thought that one had the best story out of all of them. Like just the conflict between the characters and that, it was really good. And the motion capture, guys. I want to just say this off the bat first, so I don't have to bring it up again. The visual effects are amazing. It's like a real big budget movie, like from Hollywood. It was amazing, and the motion capture. And I think a lot more actors should do this. They should act in games, because that opens up their audience. They're not just sticking to the movie. They're not sticking to just the movie fan base. They're going to be having like gamers now see their work as well. So I think it's got to be the norm now for actors to want to play in games and that, and like being a game for people to play. Because like we saw with Until Dawn, they had many actors in that, and well-named actors as well. Like well-known actors. It's really hot here, guys. I need a bit of a drink. My throat's feeling a bit dry. But I'm doing this just this chilled video and just talking about it bit by bit. So the tank had the best story. And I'm going to talk about everything vaguely because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But that had the best conflict between the characters, because when they're in certain situations, they have a bit of back and forth, and they get a bit angry at each other. So, and that's a war against the Germans. That's all I'll tell you about that. But the next one is the warplane one, and that is the funnest gameplay and the most crazy gameplay out of all the campaign modes. I mean the war stories. Just playing like just the visuals are amazing, guys. Like you're in the sky and you're in this warplane and you can just see the clouds. And at the beginning, like every war story, if you're not new, I'm new to Battlefield, right? But if you are new to Battlefield, like I was when I was playing this, each war story has a introduction. So if you're not familiar with how to use a tank or a plane or all that shit or shooting, you've got this introduction, basically your beginner's level, and that was really helpful for me. But this beginner's level was amazing because I think you're out in Alaska or some shit, and you got these big like snowy hills and that, and there's like big mountains that look like the size of Mount Everest, and you're flying around and you got these clouds and that, and you're in this warplane. It's just amazing. Old school warplanes, guys. It's awesome. Because I can't remember if this takes place in World War One or Two. I can't remember, but sorry, I'm scratching my nose. It's just a bit itchy. I am a bit sick. If I sound like I'm really congested, I will, because I am. I will sound like that. So sorry, but I've been sick for a long time now, and it's getting really annoying because there's this like viral infection getting around. So everyone's like getting this throat infection and that. But yeah, like flying this plane is awesome, and shooting and that is awesome. And you can fly upside down, like you can do a loop de loop, and you can fly upside down and shoot. And I did that, man. That is so fun. Just flying upside down and shooting, that is awesome. So we got those two, and those two are my favorites. But my favorite is the warplane one. That's awesome. And you're playing this guy. I forgot his name, but he's a bit of a liar, and that he's not a good character, but um, he ends out doing some good things at the end. So he kind of changes. You know, he wasn't a good character at first, like because there was this one moment where he's about to leave his friend to die, but then he doesn't leave him to die. He actually carries him out of the no man's land, and he actually saves his friend. And so he changes that as you see his journey from being a bad guy to a good guy, and that was pretty cool. I liked his character, and his story was good. He definitely had the most crazy gameplay, and the last level of the plane was awesome. And that's why I like those two story modes the most, because um, they had 4 levels, and now the other characters don't have 4 levels. The next guy I played only had 2 levels, and that felt really short, and it felt a bit lame, to be honest. This one, you could even skip it. Like I forgot which guy this is, but he's not the chick in the desert or the runner guy. He's this dude. He's searching for Matiao, and I'm not going to talk too much about that because that story was a bit lame, to be honest. Um, it was pretty intense though. The levels were a bit fun, but I don't know, it was just a bit forgettable when it was way too short. 2 levels, like man, I forgot that shit in like no time. Um, I just found the level really annoying because it put you in like a really like hard situation. Because Battlefield has a different sort of game style. Like you have to like move more slow and tactical. Like you can't go running around rushing people like Call of Duty, like because you die too fast. So you need to like stay behind cover and shoot and that. And um, it definitely gets hard when you run into someone who's got like a flamethrower or a big machine gun because they take more bullets. And so, and if you get hit with a flamethrower, you're near death really fast. So you have to play more tactical, and I like that, guys. I found Battlefield a lot more fun than Call of Duty. I think this is my new favorite genre, and I wish I was playing it a lot more sooner. Because this is the first Battlefield game I ever played. Like I didn't play Battlefield 4, and now I am going to play Battlefield 4 because this shit's amazing. But I heard from a few people Battlefield 4 was a bit of a letdown, so I don't know. Um, but the visuals are amazing on PS4 because of the Blu-ray disc and that, and so it's like really good quality in that, and just the game looks cinematic. Um, so this is going to be a long review. I'm going to try and close it soon, but there's just so much to talk about this game, and I want to give it. I just want to talk about everything because this game deserves it. Like just after playing an amazing game like that, I want to give it the justice it deserves. So I like it. I like the game style, and I like it that it's boots on the ground. Like Call of Duty's doing all this jumping around bullshit, but this game is staying grounded. It still is a bit crazy, but it's more simple than Call of Duty, and that's what I like. And I like it that it's got more variety. Like with Call of Duty, you just got your gun and you run around and shoot. But this game, you have a proper war feeling, and it's more intense, and you got more variety when you play online. You can be a part of a 64-man war online, and you can go in a tank and all that stuff. Multiplayer is amazing, guys. You're gonna love it. It's amazing, and it's so fun. But if you never played Battlefield before, don't go running around rushing people because you're just gonna die. Um, you got to play more smart, move around the map, um, and use cover when you can. You need cover on deck because if someone shoots you really good, you're near death straight away. One good shot can get you down to like 10%. This is a good drink. I love that feeling when you've got a really dry throat and then you just have a drink and it's just like a really amazing feeling. Almost orgasmic, I would say. Don't get creeped out by that, guys. I'm just talking truth here. Yeah, the multiplayer is amazing, and I just keep on looking at this cover because it's like really, really good. It's a really good picture, but I should be looking at the camera. So what was I saying? Yeah, the multiplayer is amazing, and you got so much you can do. You can be a scout, like That's like your sniper class. You can be a medic. You can revive people. You got so much you can do. Multiplayer. It's not just like a basic shooter. You got so much you can do, so much variety, and it makes it more fun, guys. So you're gonna love that shit. So that's my multiplayer review out of the way. You're gonna love that. Um, and I think a lot of people would come to this game for the multiplayer, but I'm telling you now, guys, play the campaign mode. It is awesome. It's awesome experience, guys. Like, don't just play for the multiplayer. I know multiplayer is really fun and really competitive, but the campaign mode's gonna have hard levels, guys, and you're gonna be really into it because of the storyline. But you're gonna be put in some really hard situations, and if you put it on, I played it on normal, but if you put it on really hard, you're gonna be it's gonna be harder for you than online would be. Play it, guys. I definitely play it. If you don't want to play too much story mode, play the plain um, war story. Play that, dude. The second one, because you will love that. That is so fun, guys. You'll be amazed. So the guy who's searching for Mathieu, his storyline sucked. There was this guy, and you're playing him, and it's the war story called The Runner, and you're playing this Australian guy, the pride of Australia. I forgot his name. Fuck. I can't remember off the top of my head, guys, but he's a well-known guy, and he's got 3 levels. I thought that all the war stories should have had 4 levels each, guys, because the ones which had 4 levels felt satisfying, but all the rest of them felt too short. Like, just all of them needed more, more substance. Like 2 war stories was way too short, but 3 felt short too. But if it was 4, maybe I would have been more satisfied with the story mode, because that was my only complaint, that it felt too short. So maybe if Dyson EA did 4 levels for each character, maybe I wouldn't be complaining at all right now. But yeah, so this guy, the runner, he had a good story. He has kind of like this protege or some shit under him, because this is like an old veteran guy, and he has this younger dude under him, and you kind of get like a father and slash son dynamic there, and it's really cool, and especially in the last level, because like shit's hitting the fan. It's a Gallipoli story, and so he's like telling this boy to get out of the war zone and that, and he want because this boy gets like kidnapped at one point, and he has to go and save him. Um, so it was like a really cool father and son dynamic sort of thing, but they're not father and son, but it has that dynamic. It was a cool storyline, and the missions are cool, and that's what I liked. A lot of these games had, most of all these war stories had a stealth moments. This game's a lot more stealthy, and I think that's fun because you got your binoculars and you can look around, and you can spot like all the enemies, and that's really cool. You can spot all the enemies, and also if they get close to you, you can throw a lure, so you lure them away, and then you can get behind them and stab them. And the stabbing, man, the melee attacks are really gory, guys. It's really cool. I love the blood in this game. It's really awesome. And when you run over someone with the tank, they make this cracking noise. It's really cool. It's really brutal but cool. I think the game will be R18 over there in America for you, but here it's MA15 plus. So you have to be 15 and over. But here in Australia, the laws are different. Like in America, you guys have to wait till you're 21 to drink. Here in Australia, we can drink when we're 18. So we're a lot more. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. We're less patient on some shit. We want shit when we're younger. We want our booze when we're younger. Sorry about the spitting. I've got a throat sick. So the runner guy's cool, and like I told you, the stealth stuff's awesome. And when someone gets close to you, their meter goes to a yellow, so they're kind of like suspicious. But when it goes to red, you can see the red meter going up higher and higher and higher. And so if that happens, you have to get away from him so he doesn't see anymore, so it goes down to yellow. Or you can quickly rush him and stab him before he yells out to everyone else. Because when he's red and he sees you, he does this shocked face. All the bad guys do a shocked face, and you can run up and stab him before he calls out to everyone else. But sometimes I try to do that, and they would call out before I would get to him and stab him. So I don't always go for that tactic. Only if I'm in close enough range, I would do it. But most of the time, I would just crouch and walk up slowly behind them, and then stab them with a melee attack. But with the runner, there's this really hard, because you're the guy on the front line. You have to spot all the people for your war buddies, and you're in this full-on war zone Gallipoli, and you have to move from A to B on the other side of the map, and you got all the bad guys everywhere, and it was so full on. I had to throw so many lures to get them out of my way, and I'd move from house to house to house to house to house. It was really cool. And I was using a sniper, and I love the guns, man. The guns are realistic, but if you're not a good sniper like I am, you're gonna love sniping this game, because sniping is so simple in this game. It's really good. And the old school guns, man, I love them. In Call of Duty now, they're going crazy. They think going futuristic is what everyone wants, but no. Everyone wants realness. They want the real shit. That's why everyone was raving on about Battlefield this year, not Infinite Warfare. Everyone was excited for Battlefield because it's more realistic. Call of Duty, I played Infinite Warfare, and I did a review of that. I reviewed the beta, and you guys will have seen that video how pissed off I was. But with this game, I loved it because it's realistic. The guns in Infinite Warfare are just fucking annoying. They're like these energy blaster guns. No one wants that shit. I love these old school World War One guns. World War One guns. I say it weird. I don't really. Sometimes I don't have good pronunciation. Ooh, I really wish I didn't have food before I did this video. Man, you guys must think I'm a pig. But so what was I saying? I love these guns, man, in this game. It's so awesome. The pistols are good. The machine guns are good. The assault rifles are good. And the snipers are good as well. I loved it all, man. This is the game of the year right now for me. And it's going to be hard for anything to top it, in my opinion. So, The Runner, that was a good storyline. And real fun gameplay for that. But I wish there was another level to that, to be honest. And that one has a really cool ending, a bit of an emotional ending. But then you got the last one, and it's in the desert, and you're this chick, and that's got stealth gameplay as well. And that's really fun story. That's got to do in the Arabian desert. Is that what it's called? Saudi Arabia, I think it takes place. And it's like this big armored train, and it's got this big machinery on it, and they want to use it to. It was basically, the storyline is like an oil war. They're fighting for oil or some shit, and you got this armored train used by the bad guys, and you're just like these guys in Saudi Arabia. Man, I'm annoyed with all this mucus. I hate it. It always comes up through my throat and into my mouth. And I don't even want it coming up, but it just does, and I have to spit it out because it just feels really sticky and yucky in my mouth, so I have to spit it out. So I can be talking to anyone, and then I've got to spit it out. If I'm talking a sentence, it just gets really annoying. Then I have to stop and just then go back to talking. So wow, this review's gone for a while, 24 minutes, but I've covered a lot of bases though. But the runner levels are really cool, and the last level when you're fighting the train and you have to damage its health. I died a couple of times because that shit is hard, man. See, all these story modes are fucking awesome because they've got a cool storyline, but you've got to do some crazy shit, guys, to pass the level, and it gets really hard and challenging, and you have to think tactical. Online, your objective is to capture a flag or kill some enemies or something like that sort of shit. But this, you have to defeat this train, and this train is like every time you shoot it, it moves back to where you are, and it starts shooting missiles at you, and you have to get out of the area before the missiles hit you. And so you're in this town, and you're trying to beat this train, and if you shoot it, it starts shooting missiles in your area. So this town is blown up into rubble. If you go on a roof of a house and you're shooting this train, it will blow up the house. So the house turns into rubble, and you're falling through the roof of the house. And that it was like really cool visuals, and I was so immersed in that level, guys. That was the last level I played, and it was really intense. But the campaign mode felt a bit short. That's my only complaint with it. And I hope this doesn't become the norm with game developers. They put all their work into multiplayer, and they kind of just do a short campaign mode because they know not much people are going to play it. I hope that isn't the case, because campaign modes are my favourite thing to play. Like, more than multiplayer, I will admit it. Campaign modes is my shit, because I like being put in a storyline and having characters and that, and playing some interesting levels, with objectives. So, just if any of game developers are watching this review, and especially EA and DICE, if you guys are doing another Battlefield game, I hope you guys are. I really hope that you are. But just maybe do a longer campaign mode, because I know there's plenty of people out there like me who love campaign modes and play games with campaign modes, because not everyone has online, and not everyone can play online gaming. So you need to make a good campaign mode so people can play it and want to play this game over and over and over. And people will love this campaign mode. I'm not saying that they won't. They'll come back and play this campaign mode. If you don't have online, I think you'll love playing this game for the campaign mode. But it does feel a bit short. So if people who don't have online, they kind of need a longer campaign mode. So so it's got more replay value, because if it feels short, like, someone's not going to want to replay it. So I'm just saying that to game developers, please make good campaign modes, because like, look at The Last of Us, look how hyped that got, and how many people bought that game. Everyone bought it because it was amazing, and the storyline just got everyone. Everyone loved it. Everyone felt emotional when they were playing that game. That's a success story. That tells you that if you make a good story mode, everyone wants to buy your game. And so I say that, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just rely on the multiplayer. Make a full game. So I'd give this game, out of 5 stars, I don't do a 10-star rating, I do 5 stars. I'll do a 4.5 stars out of 5. I take away half a star because the story mode felt a bit short, but you've got an awesome multiplayer, you've got awesome story modes and storylines. This video, I'm going to be able to wrap it up in 30 minutes. Awesome, it's 28 minutes and a half at the moment. So just like and subscribe for more videos, guys. I'm going to be doing more game-related videos and all that awesome stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's just a really awesome game, and I'm happy with it. And I hope I made a lot of points and you enjoyed this video, and this video makes sense to you. I hope I could help you out with the thought of buying this. I tried my best, but I think it's definitely worth buying. You could wait a bit and wait for it to go down in price if you're patient. But it's a good game, and I definitely recommend you play it. So that's all, guys. I'll see you guys again. But yeah, I definitely recommend Battlefield 1.